Hey, what's going on, guys? How is everybody doing? So I want to try and keep this video brief today because it's not really going to be like an in-depth guide on Childe at all. Spoiler, that's who we're talking about. But yeah, I don't want it to be a full in-depth guide. I kind of just want to go over my first impressions because let's be honest, I have not had a lot of time to play with this character. I've played with Childe a little bit through, you know, the story that was given to us, which I'll be honest was kind of short. But I've had a little bit of time to play with him, so I just kind of want to go over my first impressions, how I'm thinking that you should go about building him, and kind of my ideas on how to use him. I will have a more in-depth guide coming later, but obviously I want to go through, you know, play with him quite a bit more, figure out what works best for him before I give you guys that information, because obviously, or I'm assuming you guys want more accurate information as opposed to faster information. So probably next week he'll probably be the next character that I'm working on. Currently it's Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi will be coming out in the next day or so, so keep an eye out for that. But without further ado, let's hop right into Genshin Impact and start talking about Childe Tartaglia. I think most people are just going to call him Childe. So Childe's kit is a really fun one to use. Now, I'll be honest, you're probably not going to use his basic attack here all that often. Most of the damage you're going to be doing with him is based off his E. So once you use his E, he pulls out the water daggers and he starts just going to town. Basically, every so often, he's going to attach these Riptide like sigils onto his enemies, and you're going to be doing a lot of single target damage, but every once in a while, you're also going to be doing AoE damages, just like that. So he's a little bit of like a mixed hero, and he also does elemental damage. Like, this guy's kit is all over the place. Now, I do think that his kit is going to be it's gonna be really weird, not necessarily to build a kit around for him, but to build a team around. So now his E's ability only lasts for 30 seconds, and basically the way it works is here once it's up. So if you hit E to switch into his melee stance, boom, and then you hit it again to switch back. Well, if you're not climbing a tree, you'll see that it's only 7 seconds, but if you notice, before it was actually 45 seconds. So the cooldown to go into that melee stance actually depends on how long you're in that melee stance once you switch back to your range stance. So if you use that melee stance for its full duration, well, then you're going to need to wait 45 seconds for it to come up again. And given that that's where most of his damage is coming from, it seems to me like the best way to go about building a team with him is almost to have 2 main DPS units. So it almost seems to me like you're going to want to have 2 3-man teams available to you, if that makes sense. Obviously not like, you know, 6-person teams, but you're going to have like, you know, a team of 3, so Childe and 2 supports, and then you're going to have those 2 supports that also synergize with another DPS unit. Now, I haven't really gone full in-depth thinking about like what unit is going to be best as that second DPS unit. I only just got off stream, so haven't really had a lot of time to put those thoughts together, but that's what it seems like to me. Also, because of the fact that if you want to switch, like right now, say I want to switch to Chi-Chi, you know, get some heals in, and then we switch over back to Childe. Well, oh, well, I get still, you know, I still have 30 seconds before I can get max damage out of him. So if I had another DPS unit, like, I'm not saying this is the best, but, you know, he's like my go-to DPS unit. Say we had like a Razor, now we can be going to town over here, and we don't necessarily have to be like using our support units, waiting to get Childe up. We can have another main DPS unit to deal all kinds of damage. So to me, that kind of seems right now as the best way to build a team around him. I don't know if that'll be the most efficient way, but like I said, for now, that kind of seems like the best way to build a team around. Now, in terms of his actual kit build, right now, actually, let me pull up his kit right here. What I currently have on him is a little bit of crit and a little bit of hydro damage. So I'll kind of go through his artifacts so you can see what I have on him. It's kind of piecemeal right now. Honestly, it's kind of just like what I had available to. I took a little bit from Chi-Chi. I took a little bit from Bennett. I took a little bit from everything. Took some from Mona. But basically, I'm trying to build his crit up as well as his hydro damage bonus. He does get innate hydro damage bonus just from ascending, so that's quite nice. Obviously, like if this was a 5-star piece, this hydro damage bonus would be much higher. but having like this piece as crit rate is very nice. And then we'll just take a look. We'll take a look at his stats here too, so you can see how we currently have him built. So obviously I would like to get this crit damage up as well. Right now his crit is okay. I mean, honestly, his crit is pretty good. The one thing I'm not sure about is energy recharge. Now, I think how much energy recharge you put into him is going to be based on what constellation he's at. Now, the reason I say that, so I have my Constellation 1. I have a feeling I'll end up getting him to Constellation 2 because Constellation 2 is like real good. So when opponents affected by Riptide, and that's the little sigil he had on him, are defeated, he's going to regenerate 4 elemental energy. Now that's a lot, especially considering that his burst only actually takes 60 energy to charge up. But so if you think about how other heroes regenerate their energy, right? It's whenever they use, well, I mean, there's smaller ways to regenerate energy, but the main way is by using their skill. Now, because his skill is just like active, you're not actually triggering it to gain the energy. You're not actually gaining elemental energy that fast, I found. So I think once this gets unlocked, his burst damage is going to be insane because you're going to be able to get that burst up really quickly. So do I recommend like shelling out the money to get this Constellation 2 just to make his kit work? No, absolutely not. If you have just one child, I think he'll be just fine. But for the people who are, you know, trying to go above and beyond, Constellation 2 is like really where you're going to want to go. Now, if you are a real whale out here, now I don't expect anyone to actually go for this, but just the fact that this is in the game seems a little silly to me. So his Constellation 6 is just like funny. So whenever his burst is cast while he's in the melee stance, he's going to reset the cooldown of his skill. And this is going to take effect once he enters his ranging stance. So basically means as soon as you use his burst, it's going to guarantee that you can instantly take his melee stance once he falls out of it. That's silly because he's just always going to have it up. His damage is absolutely insane when he's in melee stance. So as the pattern continues, 1, 2 are really good, and then you jump down. I mean, really all his like Constellation 4 is really good too. His Constellations are really good, but again, I don't expect anyone to go out and wail for those because, let's be honest, it's a lot of money to do that. In terms of talents, don't do what I did. I messed this up already. I figured that his normal attack was going to increase the damage of his melee stance too. Nope, don't do that. Definitely level up the skill because the skill is where you get those. So don't do what I did. But yeah, this is for sure level his skill up first. That seems where he's going to get the majority of his damage, and then go ahead and focus on the burst. Honestly, I don't even know that I would even waste time with his range normal attack. I don't think that you'll be using it that often. I think it's just it's kind of worthless. It's that, I mean, that's how I see it so far. You know, like other heroes like you know, like let's look at Fischl for example. When you're using her attack, you're probably also going to have Oz up, and you're going to trigger Oz's attack, so you're going to be getting more than just the regular damage. But I don't know, it doesn't seem like it would be really a good use of your time, because especially once this is down, you're probably switching to your other heroes. So for right now, I would say don't even bother with this normal attack. Just focus on skill and burst. That's going to be where all your damage is. What else we got? Well, nothing considering dying. But yeah, Childe is incredibly fun. I think he's going to be... Oh, right, the last thing I want to talk about. I think he's going to be an absolute beast when it comes to Abyss, right? Especially once you get that second constellation, if you're going that far. I think he's going to be a beast regardless. But once you get that second constellation, it makes it so that he's more of a beast when there's like waves of enemies. That second constellation is not necessarily for situations where you're fighting like one big enemy, right? That second constellation is not going to help you out if you're fighting the Regisvines, right? But when you're in Abyss, when you're fighting, you know, around 20 enemies, it's going to help you get that burst up a lot faster and just deal like crazy amounts of damage. So I think he's going to be, you know, a real big player when it comes to Abyss. And when we get into, you know, more of the late game content as it comes out, if there are more if there's more content that's more wave based, I think he's going to be like a really key player there. So I'll be interested to see how, you know, the child kits develop as new content comes out. But guys, those were kind of my first impressions on Childe. Let me know what you guys are thinking of Childe. If you did go and pull for him day one, if not, well, I'm sorry. But yeah, if you did pull Childe, let me know what you think of him, how you're building him. I'm curious to see what people are going to. But other than that, guys, that's all I got. If you want to see some more content from me, you can head over to my Twitch page or go ahead and subscribe right here on YouTube, and make sure to click that notification bell. That way you never miss a video, and drop a like if you like the video. But guys, that's all I got for today. Hopefully you did enjoy, and look forward to more 1.1 content coming up real soon in the future. But guys, appreciate you sticking around. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.